Um, we will be conducting this evening's meeting in a virtual setting pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order N-29-20. Commission members and staff are participating from remote locations, and staff is in chambers to accommodate public communication. Meeting attendees, please remember to mute your mics when not speaking, and commissioners, if making a motion or second, please do so using your last name in order for staff to hear and report correctly. Would everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Jackie, could we have roll call, please?
Yes, good evening, commissioners. Commissioner Watson.
Present.
Commissioner Stolnick.
Present.
Commissioner Looms.
Present.
Vice Chair Davis.
Present.
And Chairperson
Present.
Noda.
I am here. Thank you. We have presentations tonight. Christopher Henson will review plans for the Library Park Activation Project. Christopher?
Actually, Meredith and I are going to tag team you on this, and I'll let Meredith give an introduction.
Yes. Good evening, commissioners. Nice to see you all here, and nice to see you made it. And we have a brief presentation, informative presentation on an upcoming, very exciting project at Library Park. And I'm going to share my screen as Christopher takes you through the concept of the design. I wanted to just give you a brief background ahead of time. This project was funded in this current fiscal year in the Capital Improvement Program for $120,000. It will be in front of the City Council at their next meeting on September 1st, and there is a recommendation to supplement the funding from the newly established Cultural Arts Development Fund to add to the budget. As we went through the concept design process, we do have some options that with more funding, we'd be able to do more as usual. So we'll take you through the concept development. The idea behind this project was really a collaboration between the library and Rec and Parks. The location of it is on the lower side of the east portion of the library, just outside where you would enter the lower doors, which are typically locked during business hours. But the idea is that those doors, public would have access through those doors directly to the children's library once this project is activated, and it will be sort of like an interior exterior activation of the children's library. So there's some really cool components to add to Library Park that'll add to both recreation programming as well as library programming, and we're really excited about it. I'm going to just take a minute to share my screen, and then Christopher will walk you through the design concept. And this concept was actually designed by a professional landscape architect firm through a grant that was received by the library for this purpose. So really exciting, and we'll just get right to it here. And I just head nod if you can see that okay. Great. So Christopher, go right ahead.
Okay. What you see here is a plan of Library Park. The library building is on the lower left. And this project is kind of twofold, if you will. There is a learning garden center, which is just outside of the library building underneath a bunch of existing sycamore trees. And then there's an element called the storybook loop. And that's depicted going north into the library. As you see, there's 5 stations, if you will, and each one has kind of a unique character, different type of seating, different elements. Some are sculptural, some are kind of a wind element and so forth. We'll get a little more detail and images of those as we go along. Let's see. Let's go to the next slide.
Sure. Hold on. There we go.
Okay, here's a closer up detailed plan of the learning garden. And it's under, all these trees are existing. They're sycamore trees, they're large. They provide a tremendous amount of shade. It's really a very nice setting. And so the elements that we have in there is a stage with kind of some amphitheater seating, if you will. There's some lighting elements above that. There's some different types of furniture throughout. And then the surfacing is looking to be decomposed granite. And then it's surrounded by new landscaping, and we're looking at sensory type of plant materials, some educational features that can tell a story. And let's see, let's go to the next slide then. And here's some images of that center. The bottom picture there shows the existing site as it is right now. We've got decomposed elements, the stage and lighting. These are all conceptual at this point in time. And if you look at the plan on the lower right, you'll see where the garden center is. And then there's these stations, if you will, that complete the storybook. And each station, as I mentioned before, has some unique features. And let's go to the next slide. Here's some more images of this learning garden. You can see some of the sensory type of plant material. There's a bird bath. There's kind of a water feature there on one thing side, and we're looking at things like birdhouses and educational elements like the pollinator hotel and so forth. The image on the right is a view out the windows there from the library itself. Next slide. Here's some images of the plant material. We're looking at addressing smell, taste, and feel. Next slide. Here's some more plant material. You got some lamb's ear, you got some grasses, you've got some kale, all sensory type of plant material. Next slide. And we're looking to incorporate some native plants as well. The Seacliff buckwheat to perhaps attract the El Segundo blue butterfly. Next slide. Now the stations that is called the storybook loop begins, the first station is there by the Rose Garden. And as I mentioned, each station has very unique elements. These are just some of the concept elements in them. The book element with the child there would be at every station. And my understanding is these are outdoor weatherproof type of elements, and they would have interchanging storybooks, chapters, and so forth that would be changed over a period of time. We're also looking at some educational features that would be incorporated, but each station has different type of seating. We've got boulders, we've got stumps, wood stumps, we've got some like the mushroom or toadstools type seating. We have some mounded turf areas. Some of them have sculptural elements as well. And those are all along the existing path. And all these elements are going to be ADA accessible as well. Next slide. These are a couple images here that frankly, I don't know where they go, Meredith.
That's okay. I can chime in. These have been added as a result of conversations in the Arts and Culture Committee, and with the potential of adding funding to the project from the Cultural Development Fund. They're looking to hopefully incorporate some more artistic and creative type elements to this project. As I mentioned at the beginning, the idea is to have access to the children's library from that side of the library, that lower door. And if you're familiar with the area, you know that there's a big concrete wall as you walk, quite a ways into that area. And so the idea would be to sort of liven up that area with some a mural or something of color. We've had some preliminary conversations with some artists out of Venice who have been creating these sort of unique basketball hoops that have really become very popular and actually have been nationally recognized, especially during COVID time, where they're kind of creating these play elements because, the situation that we're in with basketball courts and other types of sports facilities being closed. It's sort of blown up into a really unique concept. So not necessarily these exact things, and like Christopher had talked about at the 5 different stations, nothing's necessarily been nailed down as far as what play element or seating element. That's still to be determined. But the idea is that each of those stations would have some sort of interactive or unique feature. And a lot of the conversation that we had at Arts and Culture Committee, and I had invited a couple Parks and Rec commissioners to join that, and Kelly and Dave joined in on that conversation. And the comments that were passed along and the feedback passed along to the designers were really the importance of maintaining sort of the peaceful, passive character of Library Park, and not plopping in a play structure that, a playground that we see at other parks, and really tending to the natural elements, especially in that area that Christopher talked about, where the sensory garden is, and really just amping up that play material, the plant material, using the existing sycamores, and really making that a natural type environment, intimate space where a small stage, it's not a big stage, a small stage, would be able to host small storytellings outdoors, poetry readings, probably 1 or 2 musicians on stage at a time, just some light scale entertainment. So that's the final slide, and I will stop sharing, and then we certainly can take your questions. Kelly, go ahead. Or Bob, can you see Bob? If people raise their hands, is that how you want to do it?
Sure. Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, I love it. You said, I was part of one of the previous meetings, and I think this is a great concept, and you've addressed the concerns that were raised. I'm just wondering, like, now with COVID, are we gonna have to get about kids touching those books, and wondering if we can have COVID hand sanitization station right beside it or something, because I can picture, what we want is for them to interact with it and everything. But now we have the COVID realities. So is that going to be possible?
Yeah, I think we'll take all the precautions that we're taking at other elements of the park areas. We have a hand washing station at Library Park currently. And of course, we encourage all of our park users to bring their wipes and sanitizer with them. The timing of this, it's still several months out. So things may be different. By the time this project is completed, but of course we'll follow whatever health protocol exists at the time. Good point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Julie, go ahead.
The one thing I like the concept and what it is that they're thinking of doing, and the natural setting and the native plants and all of that. Not too sure that I'm fond of basketball hoops being attached to trees there in the park. When we just lost 1 or 2 trees up there on Richmond in the park. And we have beautiful sycamores in that park. And so I don't know how jazzed I am about attaching basketball hoops to the trees there. And also I'm not real fond of painting a mural on the library wall. I think it's a nice, clean looking building. Goes nice with the natural plantings. And I think maybe you would need to see the concept and the coloring and the position of where the murals would be proposed. That's just in my my thinking on. I really like the setting of our park and the way that it looks and nice and simple and natural. So those are just the couple of comments that I have on that. And I mean, I was hoping that at some time we're going to be doing something with the gazebo to upgrade. That gazebo really needs some work and has needed work for a long time. And I think it could be a much better setting or stage for the concerts that we have. So hopefully sometime in the future that will be done as well. And, you know, several months ago, we had that community project of planting over there in the northwest corner with the new trees and the plants and upgrading that area. And then just most recently, that large tree that broke and had to be taken out, which was a shame. But I figured that it was probably diseased. And so hopefully some more trees will be put back in place. But I do like the concept of that area down near the children's library.
Thank you, Julie. The point's well taken, and we'll definitely pass those along to the Arts and Culture Committee on the art related items. And we also have just a note on the gazebo, or we do have in the works to have the railing replaced here in the near future. So what's caution taped off right now is being addressed.
Okay, thank you. Dave, I think you had.
I agree with Julie with regard to the mural. Certainly, I would love more art and more things around town, but without knowing exactly where it goes and what it looks like, it'd be hard to sign off or to advocate for it at this point. I also think that there is something to be said for a beautiful building like that is art by itself. So I'm not sure if putting it onto that building really might defeat the whole purpose of what we're trying to do in the city. I don't know. So I definitely I agree with that. Before anything is decided on the mural, I'd love to have a second shot at seeing what that would be, if possible. And then secondly, in the Cultural and Arts Committee, I was one of those who was outspoken with regard to the advocating for a passive park and not turning it into something that's a more active park. And so I do agree with Julie. Not in addition to the health of the trees, I just don't think that that's the place to have that type of activity. That park has traditionally and is loved by residents at being a small kids, older residents. And so if we turn it into a more sports, that's a big decision to go that direction, I think. And so I agree that I wouldn't want to see sports types things in that location personally. And then my last comment is, you probably already thought of it, but that stage space is going to be a crowd pleaser. People are going to want to hang out there. So can we get public Wi-Fi all the way out there? That was my request and hope. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. No, just kidding.
I mean, it's already in the building, so it's probably just putting one on the outside, right?
Yeah, I think the city's probably moving that direction in general. So thank you. I made those notes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I didn't see any more hands. I like the concept. I agree with Julie and with Dave. So good idea. Anything else on this presentation?
No, that's it. Thank you very much. I have the notes, and Arts and Culture Committee and the library director will be made aware. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And we'll now go to public communication. Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to speak?
No,
Jackie?
there is not.
Okay, thank you. Jackie, has staff received any written public communications?
No, we have not.
Thank you. With that, we'll close public communications and move to the consent calendar. Approve the minutes of the Recreation and Parks Commission regular meeting of July 15th, 2020. Anyone? I didn't see a hand. Or
I'll move approval.
that was Lubes for approval. I'll second it.
I'll second.
Moda. Okay. Jackie, you got that? And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Julie is the only one I didn't see.
No, aye.
Okay, that's 5-0. Okay, thank you. Moving to unfinished business.
Excuse me, Chairperson Moda.
Yes.
We'll need a voice vote on the minutes.
Oh, okay. So you want everybody to say their name? Is that what?
Yeah, I'll go through.
Okay, go for it, please. I'm
Commissioner
sorry.
Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Stolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Lubes,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Davis,
Yes.
and Chairperson Moda.
Yes,
And thank you all.
thank you. Okay. We are to unfinished business. Review and approve the proposed criteria for success, as well as criteria for success quarterly report assessment tools relating to the Youth Aquatics Clubs providing service at the City of El Segundo Wiseburn School District Aquatic Center for the purposes of clearly defining expectations for current and future aquatics program providers. Recommendations, review proposed recommendations and provide direction or feedback, or to alternatively discuss and take other actions related to this item. I'm sure that's going to Meredith.
This item has been before you once before. This is why it's on unfinished business, and at the request of the commission to come back with a final version based on the questions that were asked at the time, Aricia will present the final version to you. And she has been working closely with the user groups as well as this aquatic subcommittee. So please do ask any questions that you have, but I'll turn it over to Aricia to describe the documents.
Yes, good evening, commissioners. How are you this evening? I hope well. For sake of trying to get through this efficiently, as Bob would say, I'll try to go through the history. I know that we met last time in February, but remember back in early 2019, the council voted for youth groups to use the pool, 2 of which were water polo, and then 2 of which were swim teams. With that, they wanted some success criteria attached to them to make sure that they were growing, to make sure that they were doing well and operating successfully in our place of business. So in February 2019, I brought this to you, and I'm going to share my screen just to joggle your memory in case you do not have the success criteria in front of you. Let me go to this page first. We have the criteria done in a part 1, which is an annual self-assessment, and a part 2 quarterly report format.
Aricia, 1 second. I don't think we can see your screen, so let me see. Let me see if it's a setting over here.
Maybe it's just me. Let me go back. Okay. Now, can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So first there was a part 1 annual self-assessment, and then a part 2 quarterly report format. The part one self-assessment is where the group would actually do a self-assessment of their own performance within our facility in that year. It's an annual report, and it will address all of these qualities in the self-assessment. So as you go down the list, you will see that in the scoring sheet, there's points that go with each one of these assessment pieces. So the nonprofit status, being in good standing, would earn them 5 points. And as you go through the document, you will see that the document will add up to 47 points if you go through each one. The only changes we had to this from the last time I did the presentation, they decided that, well, they all agreed that resident participation should be a little higher with points. So you double the points to be 10 points. So it's actually worth 10 points instead of the 5. And then also the community benefit, that will be bonus points. So community benefit is like if you have a class that services special needs, if you have a class that maybe services just seniors, those are community benefit bonus point classes. And that gives the teams an opportunity to make up points possibly where they fell off in other areas. The part 2 is the quarterly report. This is done every 3 months. We are asking that the team fill out this quarterly report and submit it to us. That way we can find out where they are, how they're doing, if there's any way that we can help them or they need assistance. It's also a way for us to report back to not only Rec and Park Commission, but council, to tell them of the great things they're doing in our facility or possibly, where they may need help. So we had this discussion, we brought these reports to the group, and I wanted to first, just, it's on topic, but not, thank Kelly and Lee for helping Meredith and I get to this point, because this actually took us about a year to get to these documents and bring them to the group where they actually said, okay, we can work with this. So earlier this month, I believe it was August 6th, we had a meeting with all of the group heads, Trojan, South Bay United, Alpha, and Beach Cities. They agreed to the reports. They felt like this would be a good tool or good tools for them to use. And now they are sitting before you. I also want to ask that because this year has been just so different from any year we've ever experienced, that we are able to go ahead and amend their contract to August 2021 so we can get a fair look at the organization and how they're performing over this next year. So that's all I have for this evening. I don't think I'm missing anything, Meredith. You can let me know. Do you have any questions for me?
I think the only thing that I would add is the quarterly report. The first quarterly report that the groups would submit would be for this October, November, December. So their report would be due in early 2021 for the first quarter. So it would coincide with the beginning of our fiscal year at this point. And the groups have plenty of time now to know what the expectation is when they start tracking these items.
Correct.
I have a question.
Okay.
Aricia, when you talked about the community benefit that they get points for that, and you were talking about like holding a special class or something, would, because one of the teams did a huge food drive for the Case Food Pantry.
Okay.
Would that count as a community benefit?
Yes, actually it would.
Okay.
Yes. It doesn't have to be, we would like to see that it is aquatic, but it doesn't have to be aquatic if it's helping the community.
Okay.
It's a very minor question, but I'm just curious. So if the quarter ends in December, when is the quarterly report due?
In January, early January.
By the end of January?
No, early January, sorry.
I mean, do they have a set date each quarter that has it at the 10th of the month following or the 15th or something like that?
They will have a set date. We did not set that date the last time we met, but they did know it would be due in January. So we'll be having a meeting shortly to let them know of the date.
So that means the first annual report would be next October, November, after the first complete year?
Correct.
Cool. Thanks.
Anyone else?
I want to
Okay.
take this opportunity to thank Kelly and Lee again, because this is a lot of work and you guys all spend so many hours doing stuff. I just so appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
I think I'm the weak link.
So
Meredith,
as far as
anything?
an action item, I do think it would be helpful to have a vote on this, and we would create it as an official policy for this purpose. So if you would entertain a motion, that would be great.
Let's go with Lee or Kelly. You can make the motion.
Sorry, I was trying to find my mute. So I just have one more question. If after they do a round of it, because I'm always, when we create something new, then you do a round and you realize why something you did was silly. Can we leave it open that, like, if we do a round of it and all the groups agree that, oh, whoops, this math didn't work out, that we can, make a change without having to make a big dramatic thing of it or taking another year, you know what I mean?
I would love to handle it that way. Yes.
Okay. So
We should be able to make changes
right.
if it's not working for the group. Yeah.
Right. If once we see it all filled out, we look at it and go,
Well, can you make, maybe Kelly could make the motion to include administrative minor changes that don't need to
updates.
come back. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm not sure what the language would be on that, but whatever that is.
We're looking for basically approving this policy, and you can certainly say with the authority given to staff to make minor adjustments as needed.
I like that. So motioned.
That is your motion?
That is my motion. What she said.
Okay.
I'll second it. That's Davis.
I guess we'll do a voice vote. And Jackie, do you want to take care of that?
Commissioner Watson,
Agree.
Commissioner Stolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Lubes,
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Davis,
Yes.
and Chairperson Moda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. There is no new business. Reports. First one is Aquatic Subcommittee.
I'll take it. The subcommittee is pretty much just in COVID mode, and we are just kind of hanging on, still waiting for some input from the plunge and getting the contractors out there. Other than that, looking forward to the success criteria and seeing the results from that.
Okay. Thank you. Gateway Committee.
The Gateway Committee, we have not met in quite some time. So I don't have an update. Christopher may, because he has been dealing with the two design teams that were supposed to be coming together in a collaboration of the two designs. So I'm not really sure what is going on at this point. Maybe Christopher can say.
Sure, I can add to that. Jay Hoschler of the Planning Commission and I gave a presentation to the Arts and Cultural Committee about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the hopes was to get some money allocated to the Gateway project. And I believe we have been successful. I believe they've approved $150,000 to match our existing budget to the project. So we're very excited about that. Right now, I'm working on getting a schedule from the consultants to come up with a final concept. And so I'm still waiting for that. Hopefully that will come soon, and then we'll be moving forward. And that's the update.
Okay, anybody have any questions of Gateway Committee? Seeing none. Looks like Golf Course Subcommittee's on hold, Transportation Subcommittee's on hold. Youth Sports Council.
Council hasn't met since the last time we've met, but we will once Los Angeles County Department of Health changes anything in their protocols. But as of now, it's we're still waiting for the LA County Health to make it realistic for kids to come back onto the fields.
Exactly. Thank you. Department staff reports. They're verbal tonight, of course. Aricia.
Yes, just an update on the aquatic center. It's going very well. We have our swim teams in there operating. We also have our aqua aerobics operating now. Lap swim, it stays very active. And now water polo is able to at least work together with one other person with a ball now that the new county procedures have come out. So that's exciting for them. The skate park is open, moving a little slow, but we still have visitors in the late afternoon, so that has been successful. We will change the hours for the skate park next week, starting with the school year, so it will open later from 12 to 6, Monday through Friday, and Saturday 10 to 6, just so we can let the little ones, or the young people, I shouldn't say little ones, young people concentrate on work at home, and then they can go out and have fun. We're also tossing up a lot of Halloween ideas. So more to come from that. So Kelly, be excited. We are very excited about it. And also we're talking about youth, some of the youth sports teams coming out to the field maybe in the next month. It just depends on how they operate and how they can adjust to the new procedures that were put out by the county. So we're moving forward slowly but surely, and just trying to engage with the community and make sure they have an opportunity to get out there and enjoy some recreation. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Anyone, any questions for Aricia? Seeing none, we'll go to Christopher, Parks Maintenance Superintendent.
Good evening, Commission. We're in our summer routine maintenance mode, paying attention to irrigation right now, especially in the latest heat wave that we're having, trying to keep things green. Staff completed a flooring installation at the clubhouse for the employee workout room this week, actually. And as previously been noted, we did remove a large sycamore tree at Library Park. Unfortunately, this tree basically split in half and was not salvageable at all. We're looking at replacing it with several trees instead of just a single tree to augment that section of Library Park. One other issue is, for several months now, we've been having a graffiti issue with Rec Park and Hilltop Park being hit several times. And the person that is doing it goes by Slit, S-L-I-T. We've been working with PD to identify this person and put a halt to it. I just want to make you aware that it's been going on, and the rec building's been hit, the checkout building's been hit, Hilltop Park, the restrooms have been hit, and he leaves his signature, and so we're in hopes to stop that at this time or soon. And that's about all I have. I'll take any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Didn't see any. I don't know. It looks like Julie wants to say something.
Don't I always?
I'll let you-
I just wanted to thank Christopher for last time I had suggested the trees along Imperial in California be in the trimming program. And I drove by there yesterday or the day before and saw that they've been trimmed and they really look great. And I think they can get back to doing some good growth because they were just growing the wrong way and hadn't been trimmed in so long. So thank you for listening again, Christopher, and taking care of that.
Sure, thank you.
Christopher, thank you. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Sure,
I'm sorry.
It might be worth reaching out to the school as well, because sometimes they'll know who SLIT is. So I don't know if you want to just make a quick phone call to the high school and just make that question. They might know, they might be able to give you a name.
Okay, sure.
Don't see any others. Christopher, thank you very much. And Department Director's Report. Meredith.
Yes, thank you very much. So just to add to the youth sports conversation, just wanted to make everybody aware that on August 6th, LA County did release some youth sports leagues protocol. They are very restrictive and we've been evaluating those. But like Aricia said, we definitely want to give the groups the opportunity to access the facilities in the fields should they feel confident and comfortable that they can follow those protocols. So Sean Green's been working directly with each group to make sure they understand those protocol. And we are requiring the groups that want access to the field to provide us their return to play plan so that we can verify compliance with the protocol. There will be city waivers required, similar to the aquatics user groups who are now using the aquatic center. And of the 9 groups in our Youth Sports Council, about 3 to 4 are contemplating some type of program, but probably not until about mid-September. So everybody's kind of trying to get their ducks in a row, getting a sense of what their families and participants want. And but we're here to help when they are ready. So that is the update on youth sports. Also, we just started a new program to authorize a temporary use outdoor fitness permit program. This is for eligible businesses that are gyms or fitness establishments, brick and mortar buildings who are not authorized to conduct their business inside as they normally would. And so we have a program where they can utilize 2 designated areas in Rec Park, the lawn bowling green or the skate circle on the side of Clubhouse. So they have one sort of natural turf area and one concrete area to choose from. And we have a whole application packet available for those businesses to take advantage of that opportunity. Currently we have Studio Pilates on Main was our first permittee, and I've seen them out here a couple times this week. So I think we will be getting the word out more to those establishments and hopefully see a couple other gyms come and take advantage of that. And the idea is that the city, we're here to help, much like the city has offered up some public sidewalks and street spaces for outdoor dining for the restaurants. We want to make sure that our small businesses here at least have some opportunity to conduct their business if they don't have that outdoor space on their own property. So I'll take questions on those if anybody has anything, and then I have my 3rd item to get to as well. So my last item is I've already made all of you aware, but for the purposes of, I guess, announcing in a public setting, a little bit bittersweet for me tonight. This is my last Recreation and Parks Commission meeting with the city of El Segundo. And I have found myself an opportunity that I've accepted a new position and will actually be relocating to the state of Oregon, working for the city of Corvallis. And it just so happens that the timing is right here at my 10-year anniversary with the city of El Segundo. And just want to take this opportunity to thank this commission and commissioners of the past that I have worked with over the last 10 years for your support, for your different perspective, and for teaching me a lot of things along the way. And I will definitely take these experiences with me. I will miss everybody, and we'll be here for another couple weeks. So please do reach out, stop by and say hi. And we also have our city manager, Scott Mitnick, on the meeting, and he has appeared. With that news, there's some changes up ahead for the department, and Scott's here to sort of address those and answer any questions that the commission might have in terms of restructuring the department. The park maintenance side of the house will be moved to the Public Works Department, and the recreation side of the house will be combined with the library for a comprehensive community services department. And so we're working through those structure changes, and there will be more information to come in the next couple weeks. But I will let Scott kind of take it from here and open the floor to questions for he or I.
Okay, well, good evening. Thank you for allowing me to be part of today's meeting. By the way, there is a reason there's a beach scene behind me, because when we're done here, I hope to go down there to be able to do my evening run. When Meredith mentioned the meeting and I agreed to do it, I didn't think about the timing. We had a council meeting last night, so I didn't get a chance to go out last night. So that's why I'm in casual gear, because I'm going to go for a run afterwards. Let me also just say hello and thank you, all of you, and acknowledge the great work you do. It's a lot of time and effort to serve on a city committee or commission. Sometimes a thankless task. And since I've been here for 14 months, I've observed from the distance when you've had to deal with some challenging issues about field maintenance and what field should get more attention than other fields and that type of thing. So I get it. And I've told staff and the city council that when you look at a community, you judge a community by many different measures. Some will look at, I don't know, home prices. They'll look at public safety, jobs, that type of thing. But I've always found you measure the true health of a community by its commitment to education, culture, arts, and recreation. And you look at when I was looking at coming to work here, I went to the library first off, and then I looked at some of the parks, and I was really thrilled to see the commitment to recreation, education, and culture. But the downside here is there's been some neglect on the infrastructure. So I have shared that with City Council. We're working on a long-term financial plan and a game plan to deal with all these great assets we have. But it's one thing to have the assets, but you have to maintain them. And the City Council gets that. So we're working really, really hard. So I just want you to know I am fully aware of that. And in the budget for next year is the continuation of the $800,000 to look at not just the teen center and the skate park, but to look at doing an assessment of the entire rec park block and look at what needs to be done sooner rather than later. And with the initial recommendation to tackle the restrooms, because those are among the most used aspects of rec park. And we acknowledge that they're an embarrassment and we need to do a better job with that. And then to do an assessment of what is the next priority and the priority after that. So I am aware of that, and we do think a lot about that. So we did put some money in there, $800,000 to get started with that, among all the other stuff. And then, yeah, it'll be a challenge without Meredith here. She's been a great colleague, and she put her heart and soul into the parks and rec and all of the programs and services that you provide guidance for. So tough shoes to fill. So when Meredith made the announcement or shared with me in advance that she was going to go to pursue a great opportunity in Corvallis, what an opportunity to be in a city, in that location, that venue, a university town, and so on. You're going to love it there, Meredith. You're going to do great work. So that created some challenges, but then an opportunity because of the financial pressures we're facing with the COVID-19 pandemic, the $10 million loss of revenues in the general fund. But also, I was charged by City Council from day one to take a broader look at the organization and see where we can find some efficiencies and better ways of doing things. And it's not to say that the ways before weren't as good. So I probably should have used another word rather than better, but a more efficient way. And I had been looking at the operations very carefully for a whole year. And it's becoming more common in California to merge the library and rec and park functions. I'm not going to say the majority of cities, but it is happening for a variety of reasons. And it really does make sense here objectively. Now, what will that mean? The library will still be the El Segundo Public Library. I've told the director and staff there that that's not changing. And then the rec programs will not change. The commitment to parks won't change. In many ways, it will be an enhanced effort because we will have park maintenance in the same, the men and women that work in park maintenance are already working out of the facility on Illinois and Franklin, the city maintenance yard. I'm looking at an aerial of it right now. They'll be under one roof. They already are under one roof. Now they'll be in one department, and it will allow us to have some economies of scale and a way to share management services and ideas in terms of how we maintain our facilities and our landscaping assets throughout the whole city. So after a lot of thought and analysis, we feel that there will be some greater efficiencies there. But it's not going to degrade our parks or our rec programs. If anything, it'll make them better. So that's the big picture pitch, if you will. And I'm happy to take questions and feedback. And again, thank you for allowing me to be here.
Anyone have any questions? I'm not seeing hands. Is that Kelly? Kelly, go ahead.
Yeah, sure, I'll go. I guess, the off the cuff response that I had when I saw it was, first of all, Meredith she's very amazing and professional and has a lot on her plate. And so I'm wondering, as you merge all of this together, how that job will get done. There's a lot of projects that take a long time because of the volume of projects. And so, I just have concerns about that. And then secondly, I guess, what's the implication for how the community can stay involved? I worry about the mission of Recreation and Parks getting a little bit watered down as the employees kind of, move in under these other departments. So I'm hearing your commitment that it won't, but how will the community interface look in the new structure?
That's a great question. We thought a lot about that. And for the community, they should not see a difference. Again, the library will remain the jewel that it is, and it retain its name. And the goal here is for the patrons not to notice any difference. And same with respect to those who use the parks and participate in rec programs. It's just a different way of managing the overall structure. This is, I wish we could be in the same room so I can look you in the eye, and I'm looking at each one of your boxes on the screen. So I am trying to look you in the eye. This is not an attempt to water down rec and park services. It's to try to go the other way. This commission will stay intact and provide guidance and advice on just the way you have in the past. We want to make it better. And in looking and talking to my colleagues in places where they've done this, it has worked very well for them. We have to deal with the reality of dwindling resources and just incredible challenges that we're facing. And I also, because it may be a question, well, what happens to Meredith's position? We have not made a decision to cut that position. We're trying to figure out how do we fill it and at what level and what makes sense overall. Is that helpful? Thank you.
I have a question. So now that, say, Christopher's department now moves under Public Works, is he still reporting to the Rec Park Commission? I mean, a lot of times I have, suggestions for him or things to say, about the parks and that he's taken care of. Are they still going to be, is he still going to be reporting to this commission, or does he report elsewhere now?
Well, he'll be providing support to the commission in attending your meetings, answering questions. But I mean, he'll fall organizationally within the Public Works Department. So we anticipate that like the items on your agenda tonight, he would be providing an update on the same type of agenda topics. One thing I'll say, I've been blessed to, pretty much my whole career has been in local government. A short period as a banker and financial advisor, but I've been a county administrator and city manager. I've worked in different cities. I worked for one county. And I'll tell you, one of the things we have to do a better job at in local government is not being so fixated with silos, that if you're in one department, you're just there and you're totally devoted to that and you don't interact with others. And so this will be very helpful in terms of moving toward that in that direction. This is an efficiency effort.
Okay, Dave.
Scott, have you fleshed out the relationship between Library Commission, Rec Park Commission, and how that new structure will work, and what will be new things we might be responsible for, or things we aren't, or not yet?
Not yet, but again, I don't anticipate like takeaways or things that are confrontational, adversarial. No, I'll tell you one thing. You were talking earlier about the Gateway art piece, and that's an exciting project. And I find it a little bit interesting when there's two committees sort of working on it and stuff like that. It'd be nice if we can make that a little more cohesive and centralized. But we're recommending actually, and you'll hear more about it, but actually putting more funds into that project when we go to council. We would like to have that one, if I can mix metaphors, to have that be a home run. That Gateway Park, the Gateway art piece really needs to be well done, a positive statement, something we're all proud of, and not something, from my professional opinion, where we cut back because we're trying to save a little bit of money. We're blessed to have the Art in Public Places fee in place now, and we have some resources to put at it. So this is an example where I think we can do a better job at the staff level of working with the committee structure to have it more smoothly and to move a little bit faster. I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes saying that. I don't know the players, but it just seems to me we, as your staff, we can move things like that along better. Is that helpful?
Okay.
Yeah, sounds like there's still some details to be worked out in all this.
Yes, indeed. There are a fair amount of details to be worked out. And also, this has been something that has been contemplated for a while. I wasn't sure I was going to do it this fast, but then with the departure of Meredith, let's be clear, Meredith made the decision to take this opportunity. Then I had to act very quickly if I'm going to do anything. And then the budget process was moving along. So that's why it happened so quickly, not by design. This was not a plan. Hey, we're going to do this at the last minute. Boom, boom, boom. It just happened. It evolved.
It's Meredith's fault. We know.
Okay. I'm not seeing anyone else. Scott, thank you very much for showing up at our meeting. It's good to see you, and very informative. And okay, we'll hope for more information.
Sure. And I had just started going to different committees and commissions before the pandemic. And the last several months have just been in an emergency state. So when things slow down, I'll try to come to your meetings more often. I love this stuff. And I'm going to go out there and get my run in.
There you go.
All right.
Have a good time.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
And Meredith is awesome. She's going to be missed.
There's no doubt about that.
All right. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Meredith, anything else?
No, that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much. We are now to commissioner comments. Commissioner Watson.
Okay, well, I want to start by saying, Meredith, we are going to miss you. You are a big, a big force in what happens with Recreation and Parks, and your professionalism. You're so smart. I love the energy you put into this job, and boy, are we ever going to miss you. I'm going to miss you for sure. But best of luck. We're going to be sad, but best of luck to you.
Thank you, Kelly. It is sad and exciting at the same time.
I also wanted to say that, yeah, the Kiwanis is moving forward on some cool ideas for Halloween as well. So we should definitely compare notes again quickly because we've got a bunch of balls rolling. Also wanted to talk about, I know the transportation subcommittee isn't meeting, but we do want to resurrect the bike valet idea. Just we're seeing a lot more bikes out on the road. And I hear that the bike vendors are all selling out of bikes because everybody's riding their bike now, which is fantastic. I have to say that when I started the Get Outside El Segundo hashtag, I had no idea that everybody would be outside, eating outside, walking through the park. I mean, it's kind of, I guess, one of the blessings of the pandemic is that the whole city is out and our parks are being utilized. And, you know, you can't walk through now without seeing just a ton of people using the spaces and a ton of people riding their bikes. So that's all fantastic. But that means that maybe there's, you know, got to be a bit of a shift in how we do things. And so with all the restaurants on Main Street and everything else, I think the idea of a bike valet and certainly at the farmer's market might be good timing for that. And then the third thing is one of the things that's not happening because of the pandemic are the beach cleanups, because we can't assemble officially any groups to do the beach cleanups, but that doesn't mean we can't do beach cleanups. So I wanted to, you know, it holds a dual purpose to call to action folks to individually go out, take a walk, bring a bag, and, you know, help us keep the beach clean. It's something we can do every day, and it's a great excuse to get outside. That's it for me.
Okay, Kelly, thank you. Commissioner Smoldak, Julie.
I wanted to thank Meredith as well for the job that she's done for these past 10 years. And Meredith has always been a great one. You know, I send an email and she's getting right back. And her response is always great. And I always like it, all the different community events, but also the working events. Meredith is always there, always making an appearance and working. And I like to see that. Not just her, you know, 9-to-5 job or whatever it is. She's there on the weekends, usually with her dog. And so I appreciate the job that you've done for the city, Meredith, and wish you luck in Oregon and hope you enjoy the rain.
Thanks, Julie. It'll be a change.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Lubes.
First, a question. Julie, Scott mentioned something about 2 committees for the Gateway. I was confused by that. Are there 2 committees for the Gateway?
I only go to the one meeting for the Gateway, that the committee, and I don't know if he's talking about with the Arts Commission or what, but maybe Christopher will know about that, but I only thought there was one group.
Meredith, do you know?
Yeah, I think he is thinking that the Arts and Culture Committee has been more involved. I think moving forward, given the fact that they have added a recommendation to fund a portion of the project, we'll likely see Arts and Culture Committee become more involved.
Sure. Secondly, Chris, 99% of the correspondence you get for parks and for maintenance is, hey, this needs to be fixed. Hey, this needs to be trimmed. So I just want to say that I over the last 2 weeks, I've been to 5 of our parks. Most of my time is spent at Rec Park, but I was at Washington. I went to Candy Cane. I went to, can't remember. I went to 5 or 6 total parks. And I just have to say that they are in amazing condition. They are, I mean, some of it is, I get it. We, you know, there hasn't been quite as much youth activities, so it's a good time to get things up and running. But even the spaces that are commonly used in the middle of Rec Park, the picnic area, everything is pristine and looking amazing. So I just wanted to take the time to thank you. It's really a proud place to be.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And then I'm just gonna briefly thank Meredith, just because it is bittersweet. As your friend, I'm happy for you. As a commissioner, I'm mad at you. I've been to Corvallis. It's an amazing city. They got such cheap bowling. You can bowl really inexpensively. So I'm excited for that. You know, the superintendents for Recreation and Park hold a special place in my mind. And it's pretty cool that you're on that wall with Falk and Devilbus and Cummings and Pettit. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, thank you. And Vice Chairperson Davis.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to thank Meredith, obviously. I know she's going to love Corvallis, and like I said, it might be a little wet, but I think she'll have a great time there and she'll be missed. Other than that, you know, Chris, I understand you're going to a little bit the other side. I hope you're able to join the meetings because there are so many things that we actually reference with you, and usually by the time it's on our mind, you've already taken care of it or you have a plan. So hopefully we'll get to, you know, continually communicate through these meetings. But, you know, with this transition, it's going to be interesting. And other than that, Meredith, good luck. And I wish you the best.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. Jackie, thank you for saving me all the time. I appreciate it. The meetings couldn't happen without you, and very nice that you're always taking care of us. Meredith, I remember your first day, first week, and 10 years, really? As I told you yesterday when we talked, I'm going to miss you a lot. It's always great to call someone that, and even if you don't pick up right away, you call right back. And thank you for everything you've done for the city of El Segundo and for us. And good luck in your move and your future.
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome. And we will now adjourn to the next regular meeting on Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Hopefully it'll be in the council chambers. Thank you.